Big news out of Eastern Europe. Ukraine is on track to withdraw from the Ottawa Convention, a major international treaty that bans anti-personnel landmines. President Volodymyr Zelensky signed a decree to start the withdrawal process. Now, this isn't the final step yet. Ukraine's parliament still has to vote on it. So what's exactly the Ottawa Convention? Why is Ukraine stepping away from it now? What are the global implications and who still supports the treaty today? I am Shivani Singh. Stay with me as we break down what it means for Ukraine, its allies, and the future of Ukraine's position in the ongoing war. First things first, what is the Ottawa Convention? Also known as the Mine Ban Treaty, it was adopted in 1997 to prohibit the use, production, stockpiling, and the transfer of anti-personnel mines. The treaty also requires countries to destroy their existing stockpiles and help clear mines in war-affected areas. Now, Ukraine signed the treaty in 1999 and ratified it in 2005. But now, after 40 months of the full-scale war, things have changed. Over 160 countries are part of the Ottawa Convention. This includes most of Europe, Africa, and Latin America. But some key players never joined it. Russia, the United States, China, India, and Pakistan are all not part of the treaty. And now some countries near Russia are rethinking their positions too. Finland, Poland, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, they've either withdrawn or they're reconsidering doing so. So why is Ukraine stepping away now? President Zelensky says it's a direct response to Russia's tactics. Reports confirm that Russia has been using anti-personnel mines extensively in cities, on roads, and near the civilian areas.
Russia was never part of this convention, and it is using anti-personnel mines with utmost cynicism. And not only now, by the way, in its war against Ukraine. It's a hallmark of Russian killers to destroy life by all means at their disposal, with chemical weapons and ballistic missiles, including medium-range ones. Also in the mix are all kinds of mines, including anti-personnel ones. Unfortunately, this is how it is. We see how our neighbors in Europe react to this threat. We also know about the complexities of the withdrawal procedure when it's carried out during war. We take this political step and by doing so give a signal to all our political partners on what to focus on. This concerns all those countries which border Russia. Anti-personnel mines are instruments which often cannot be substituted by something else for defense purposes.
Russia never signed the Ottawa Convention, so it faces no legal limits on how it uses mines. Ukraine says the situation is not balanced. One side follows rules, the other does not. In war, this can be a serious disadvantage. Kyiv wants the freedom to defend itself on equal terms. Let's take a moment to understand what's at stake here. Anti-personnel mines are small explosive devices meant to injure or kill. They're hidden underground or in the debris. They're especially dangerous because they can remain active for years. Clearing them is slow, expensive, and extremely dangerous. Despite the risks, Ukraine sees them as potentially necessary tool for defending the areas under attack. Ukraine isn't a NATO member, but it cooperates closely with the NATO countries. Withdrawing from the Ottawa Treaty could raise legal and moral questions amongst Ukraine's Western backers. But some NATO members, like the US, never joined the treaty either. This move could put Ukraine in line with NATO hardliners who argue that treaty should not limit national defenses. Ukraine's parliament still needs to formally approve the withdrawal. No vote date has been announced yet, but the pressure is clearly mounting. Russia, for its part, is unlikely to object. It never signed the treaty and has reportedly used mines extensively since the beginning of the war. That said, Moscow could seize the opportunity to portray Kyiv's decision as a sign of escalating the conflict or abandoning humanitarian norms. The outcome hinges on whether Ukraine's parliament passes the bill now. We'll keep following this story closely. Stay tuned to Moneycontrol for the latest.
Network 18 decimates Times Internet with over 6 times more unique users on social media. Network 18, the undisputed leader of news networks, way ahead of the times.